Key Nation, what is going on, man? It's your boy Manuel Ken, and today you see it in the title. We will be going over how to stack vocals for width and depth, man. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button, 'cause we a movement, boy. Let's get it. Key Nation, what is going on, man? It's your boy Emmanuel Keenan. Today you see it in the title, fam. I know I said the intro already, but I'm gonna say it again. We are going over how to stack vocals and how it gives more depth, to add more depth and width to your song. Now, stacking vocals definitely makes things sound a lot more dynamic, okay? You have an artist like Drake that pretty much just does everything straight through, okay? He doesn't really necessarily add he doesn't stack his vocals, he doesn't add harmonies, he doesn't necessarily do all the etceteras to his vocals in order to make things sound a lot more dynamic, because that's what he likes. That's his style. He likes to keep it real simple. One take Jake, or one take Drake in this instance, right? So he likes to do that. Whereas you have a different type of artist who does harmonies throughout the whole thing, which is Chris Brown, for instance, right? He will add harmonies here, high registers, low registers, mid registers, background vocals, a lot of ums, a lot of ahs behind everything. That's how Chris Brown pretty much operates. And he's a different type of artist, right? But they both have a really, really good impact. And the reason why I say that is because Drake pretty much makes up with that with his fullness, his presence, and his production behind it. So does Chris Brown. He makes up for that with his dynamics, the vocals, the backings, all of that. So speaking of both of those artists, we're going to go over No Guidance, which is a track that both of these artists did together a couple summers back, if I'm not mistaken. But I went ahead and created my own rendition of it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into that.
Tell me how the hell she even worth it. I don't even think she got a purpose. I shouldn't pay no mind, but when we fuck, it's perfect. Hey, girl, you got it, girl, you got it. You got it, girl, you got it, girl. I don't even know her name. Swear to God, man, these things don't change. If I lie, tell me what I gotta gain. Oh, because you know that you got it, girl, you got it.
So that is my little rendition of No Guidance. I need to need to burp. You feel me? We human. I'm not cutting that out either, because I love y'all. We Key Nation. We family. Okay? But anyways, man, that is my little rendition of No Guidance. I didn't want to add the beat in there because copyright. Your boy don't want to get flagged for copyright. But that's not even necessary for what we getting ready to go over today. So anyways, that is my rendition of No Guidance. As you guys can clearly hear, you guys heard the falsetto, you heard the high registers, the low registers, and all that other stuff with a little bit of auto-tune help, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? I can sing, but you know, auto-tune make it sound a little bit more better. You feel me? So I want to go ahead and I wanted to go ahead and explain to you guys what I kind of did and why I did what I did for this little segment of the song. We're not going to go super duper in depth, because for the holistic reasoning of it, it's really simple. You know, you just have a lead and then you add things behind it to add more depth and more width to the whole sound of the track. So it's not that difficult. We'll go ahead and get right into it right now, man. So let me go ahead and scroll down here, and I will highlight a lead. Let's see here. If I could find a lead. That looks like one, but do I want to use that? Yeah, let's use that because there's no other lead. So let's go ahead and highlight this lead right here, guys, and show you what I got going on and why I did what I did. So let's play it real fast.
Hey, girl, you got it, girl, you got it.
Oh, and let me go ahead and say this too, a little side note. I went ahead and used flex pitching. You need to do flex pitch in order to align the transients whenever you have, you know, backings of vocals, and I'll go into that a little bit more into depth once I highlight the two right here. Let me show you guys. Once I highlight these two and show you guys what I'm doing there, you need to do flex pitching in order to align the transient so that everything can sound as one. Otherwise, if you don't do that, the backings of vocals are gonna sound all over the place. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Let me just go ahead and play this lead real fast. So that's why you'll probably hear a little bit of phasing when I play this lead for the falsetto.
Hey, girl, you got it, girl, you got it. You got it, girl, you got it, girl.
Okay, so that is the lead, right, for what we have for the hook. Let me go ahead and highlight, or not highlight, solo out the backings of this specific segment.
Hey, girl, you got it, girl, you got it. You got it, girl, you got it, girl.
So that is the backings of that. Now, as you guys can see, I went ahead and did a little bit of a low register there. And I did that so that it could sound a little bit more full, more whole. I felt that when I did that falsetto, it sounded all right, but I wanted to add some low register in there to make it sound a lot fuller, to make it sound to give it a lot more presence, essentially. So that's exactly what I did. Now, I'll go ahead and get into this flex picture. We're not gonna get into it. We're not gonna fully go into it, right? But I'll go ahead and get into this flex picture real fast, just to show you guys what I meant by that. So as you guys can see, there's these transients, and I'll do a tutorial aside from this, but there's these transients right here that I went ahead and aligned. I aligned these transients so that when you play the song back and you hear these backings and you hear these vocals, these background vocals, that it matched specifically with the lead so that things don't sound all over the place. Because if you do not do this, you'll have these your background vocals will sound like one sentence or one word of that sentence won't necessarily align with the previous word of the sentence that you guys see here. So for instance, let me give you an example. I'll actually give you a good example of what I'm talking about. Say for instance, I didn't align these, right? Say for instance, I didn't align these, and I recorded it, and I recorded it just like how I moved it over. I will show you guys exactly what it will sound like.
Girl, you got it, girl, you got it.
Now that's a little bit exaggerated, right? That's a little bit exaggerated, but that's exactly what that is specifically, right? We want to make sure that the words and everything is perfectly aligned so that it all sounds the same.
Girl, you got it, girl, you got it.
Right? So we want to make sure that that is what that is. Now, I'm not going to go into super depth with it, and I'm not going to do that because that's not what this tutorial is about, but I just wanted to show you guys that's exactly what that is. Now, as far as panning is concerned, be very, very cautious when you pan background vocals. And the reason why I said that is because you'll get phasing issues. Now, what Logic does, and what I actually like Logic for, is that it'll hinder you, or it'll stop you from panning all the way to the left and panning all the way to the right. As you guys can see, I panned it to the left here, if you can divert your attention to the mixer right here. I panned it to the left and I panned it to the right. I went all the way to the right and all the way to the left. It did not give me -64 and -64 because of that specific reason, right? Even if I try to type 64, it's not going to do it because it'll give you phasing issues if you do that. Now, I don't know if Pro Tools does that. I don't think it does. But sometimes it'll happen, sometimes it won't happen. It all depends on the elements of the instrumentation, but you always want to kind of look back and listen for things like that. Now, don't get me wrong, you can pan to the left all the way and you can pan to the right all the way, but just be mindful that you might have phasing issues in the long run, and that's what you just don't want, right? So be very, very mindful of that. I don't know what this was at before. I know y'all seen it, but nothing is at 63 and 64 right now. So I think we're okay. Well, there is run right there. I don't know what this was at before, y'all. I don't know. But anyway, so that's besides the point. You want to make sure that you keep that in mind. Now, to go back to what I did here, I wanted to make sure that I added even more dynamic range at this part specifically. So let's go ahead and let's play it. Nothing solo down here, right? Nope. All right.
Tell me how the hell she even worth it. I don't even think she got a purpose. I shouldn't pay no mind, but when we fuck, it's perfect.
So as you guys can clearly hear, I've got, let me go ahead and expand this so that you guys can see. I've got a lot of things going here. I think this is the falsetto, right? These are the high registers.
Tell me how she even worth it.
Right there, right? And then right here we have, I believe, mid register.
Tell me how the hell she even worth it.
And then I might have a low register here, like bass.
Tell me how the hell she even worth it.
This might be actually a different.
Tell me how the hell she even worth it.
And then this is.
Tell me how the hell she even worth it.
Okay, cool. So then what this one is that this is just a lower octave than this section is. But nevertheless, all these are different types of octaves, just to give, like I said before, to make it sound a lot more dynamic. And as you guys can see, I have 3 tracks here going over the falsetto, and I panned it to the left and panned it to the right and kept it in the middle. Reason being is because whenever you have 3 tracks, you want to make sure that you have an equal balance going through your speakers, right? So if you are recording the same thing, right? If you are recording the exact same thing within each segment of the song, you want to make sure that each of them they all make sense in that regard, right? So if I'm recording 3, you want to make sure you record 1 to the left, pan 1 to the left, keep 1 in the center, and keep 1 on the right, right? And if you're recording 2, you want to make sure you pan 1 to the left and you pan 1 to the right if you're doing background vocals. If you're recording 4, you want to make sure you pan 2 to the left and pan 2 to the right. The reason why I say that is because 1, you're going to be you will be avoiding phasing issues, and then number 2, when you keep things at an equal, it equals out to a stereo output, right? And you want to make sure that you get that stereo output whenever somebody listens to it, because subconsciously they're going to be like, something's off with this, right? So you want to make sure that everything is equal. If you have a left, you have a right, okay? So you just kind of got to use that exact same knowledge and transform. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but you want to use that and apply it to background vocals and harmonies and things of that nature, man. So that is pretty much it. I just wanted to show you guys exactly what I did as far as that is concerned. If you guys want to check out the song, please do. I will go ahead and link it down below in the description. If you guys got any questions, please feel free to hit me up in my DMs. My Instagram is linked below, or comment down below, fam. I'm going to try to answer it. You feel me? So thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate y'all. If you got any questions, let me know. I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Gang.